Hello everybody, it's Friday the 3rd of January, in January. So I want to talk about we do not know Jesus after the flesh but after the spirit, which is Corinthians, which is the teaching of Paul. And really bringing the correct meaning to what Paul is actually saying. Because only if your eyes are open to the truth of what he's actually saying, can you make a decision of whether you actually want to go there. See, people are in a delusion. They're making decisions not knowing what it is they're doing because they do not understand what is actually happening here. What we are and what we're in. They have the complete wrong perception. And they're making decisions from that perception. So the truth needs to be known, needs to be understood. Now, and we're being led away from the truth. I mean, left, right, and center. Do not see it. And there are channels out there that will guide you away from the truth. Absolutely they will. I've been made aware of another channel. Oh, you must go there. Yeah? You must show what he is showing to get Christians out of religion. And, I looked at that channel. Actually 2 seconds of it, and I switched it off. Forget it. Because there were the big words in the background. God is not real, he's imaginary. Something like that. It's not real. And at that point I switched off. Now let me make very clear where I'm coming from. I do believe that God of the Bible is real. Is absolutely real. There are entities out there that are influencing the affairs of man. Yeah? I believe that to be absolutely real. I also believe in the power of the Spirit to create. I believe in the power of the Word, that it can influence the Spirit. Yeah? So that God creates through the power of the Word. I absolutely believe that is true. That is real. And that is true spiritual knowing. To know it is happening right now, it is a reality, and it is creating a reality. Spiritual reality that is creating a physical reality. I come from the point where I absolutely believe what Jesus taught. I do not believe in Jesus. I do not believe in the man as the Savior, as the Messiah. No. The truth, the knowledge that he brought, I believe in that. 100%, and that is why I am in such a flap. Because I believe it's real. If it's not real, it doesn't matter. I believe it is real. So, right, but here is, and we are forever being compared to sheep, and that is actually it is so true. There's another truth. We do behave like sheep. And I have observed sheep in the field. I'm out in the country. So I've seen sheep many times and what they do. And what they do is when the flock is on one side of the field, yeah, and you spook them, they will start running. I mean, they will just run. Without any thought of where they're going. And for the most part, the flock will run from one end to the field to the other. And they will not stop running until they get to the other end of the field. There are always a few individual sheep that will stop running before that, but only a very few. The majority of the flock will run to the other side of the field. And in that we are absolutely like sheep. So again, what that channel did in proclaiming what he was proclaiming, he started with, God was on top of the mountain and then on top of the clouds, and then, and every time we got there, God wasn't there. So they moved him. I've said that myself, and that is actually extremely true. That is extremely true. They're doing that. They're moving him further and further away. He's now in another dimension. Good. And then he says, and then he starts giggling and says, and now they want you to believe that he is within you and all around you. Yeah, that is where he actually is. Within you and all around you. Yeah. Sorry. That is the sheep behavior. Sheep are being spooked because there's something that is false. And then everything is false. Yeah? Run to the other end of the field. Throw out the baby with the bathwater. Do not stand somewhere in the middle and say there is some truth in that. Find the truth. It's all false. Keep running, sheep. And here's the thing. God does not exist. He's imaginary. And then it's really saying, you know what, sheep? Keep moving. Don't look. Nothing to see here. That's what they're saying. There's nothing to see here. It's all imaginary. There's nothing here. Just keep moving. Keep moving on. Nothing to see here. That is what they're doing. And then when I got the comment about that channel, and that really was eating on me for days now. It said the name of the channel and 14K subscribers. That bad. 14K subscribers. So, what are you trying to tell me here? Yeah, he is the truth. He is a powerful truth because he's got 14K sheep running after him. Well, given that the sheep in the main are of poor judgment and not knowing what they're doing, I don't think that is actually something that would recommend the channel. But and I think the other thing that you seem that comment have completely forgotten is who is controlling the algorithms. Yeah, this internet is not built on he who tells the greatest truth will have the most subscribers or will have, the most exposure. That is not how it works. This place is controlled. Again, there's something controlling that, and that is real. Yeah? That is a reality that you have to take into consideration. Anyway, so those who get the most subscribers is not because it is the truth, or the most exposure, sorry. It's not because it is the truth. It is something that serves those that will control the algorithms. It serves them. That is why people get that high up in the hierarchy of the internet. Yeah, is it? Again, something is controlling this. And with what intention are they controlling this? Said what he was telling you was, again, move on. Nothing to see here. There is no truth anywhere. Which is wrong. There is truth there. But you're being led past it. Yeah, sheep herded past it. And the other channels, the also spiritual channels, the New Agers. Yeah? Oh, everything is an illusion. Everything, nothing is real, everything is false. We're going into the all. We are all. The only thing that is all is the all itself. There is no part of the all that is all, nor can we exist in such a state. But it is the way into disintegration. Again, that is the first part that needs to happen. Again, they take you away from what you know. They take you out of your family. They take you out of your friendship groups. They take you into nothingness. All is nothing. There is no point of reference. You're going into all, that there is no destination. So you're being completely disintegrated from everything that you know. You're being taken away from what you know into complete disintegration with actually no point of where you're actually going. I mean, that is one hell of a journey. And then in that state of disintegration, you can be rebuilt. And you will be rebuilt. And you are not going to be the builder. Something else will rebuild you. Yeah? And that is why you're being taken into disintegration. So that you do no longer know yourself. You are in all. You have no more point of reference what it is and where you're actually going. And then something else will come and save you. And it will rebuild you. And it will give you of its knowledge freely. And you will become one of the children of God. This is real. This is happening. Humanity is dying. We are dying. We are dying from the lack of knowledge. From the lack of the knowledge of who we are. And the lack of knowledge of what it is we're in. And we will die. And we have given away our divinity, our self-determination. Where we are the builders of ourselves. We've completely given that away. And this is real. To me, this is real. If this weren't real, I wouldn't bother. I mean, what for? Anyway. Okay, let's go to, we do not know Jesus after the flesh, but after the Spirit. And that's Corinthians 5, verse 16. And again, Paul is actually telling you a truth. He is telling the truth. You just do not understand what it is he's saying. And you are not the judge. You are not judging this correctly. Yeah? So what he says is, therefore, henceforth, know we not man according to the flesh, yea, though we have known Christ according to the flesh, yet now henceforth we know him so no more. Paul is directing you toward that kingdom that is not of this world. Yeah? But again, the church itself, Paul is a spin doctor, and he himself has now been spun. Because what we're being told this means is, we no longer know Jesus after our carnal desires. You know, our bad carnal desires. The carnal flesh. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We don't know him according to that. Yeah? But we will be taken out of that and know him in the godly spirit or whatever. That is actually not what that says, and that's not what Paul said. I looked this up on the internet again, and that there was a explanation underneath that verse, and I thought that was actually probably the truest thing. Again, I'm saying this because I'm coming into agreement. I have actually thought about this. Yeah, I'm not following blindly. So after the flesh means by worldly standards. After the Spirit, according to divine guidance. So we knew Jesus after the flesh by worldly standards. according to our own knowledge of good and bad. We knew him according to that. And again, does not mean that Jesus was in the flesh, he was not a spiritual being while he was here. He clearly was. Again, I believe. I believe on the power of the Spirit to create, to affect, really on the highest level, to affect material reality. The power of the Spirit to create a material outcome. I believe on that. I absolutely do. That is what Jesus taught, and I believe on what he taught. I believe on the knowledge. Again, not on the man, but the knowledge that spoke out of him. And to do according to that will change this world. I believe that. I am actually a believer. So, but I mean, that's what we're being taught. Yeah, with knowing him after the flesh means he was not a spiritual being, which he clearly was. And again, it shows us the truth of ourselves. It is not that we are material or that we're trapped in the material. Again, that is from our own perception. We believe on the material and we believe that we are limited by it. That is what we believe. That is our limit. And Jesus clearly showed you are more than that. Doesn't mean you're not material, you are, but you are more than that. Again, an expansion means adding to. Yeah, if you just go into the Spirit and you take away the flesh, you have not actually created something bigger. You've changed something completely, but you have not expanded into something bigger. It's by adding to that you make something bigger. That's what he did. So, okay, we no longer know him according to the flesh, and that is the healings and stuff. And then our judgment as a human being was that is good. And that is knowing him according to the flesh. Our judgment of good and bad, according to ourselves, that was good. And it is good. I believe it to be good. Again, my own personal opinion, take it or leave it, but from where I'm standing, that was good. So we judged him by those standards. But now we are to judge him after the Spirit, after divine Spirit. And here is Jesus judged himself in that way, and he changed according to divine guidance. He changed himself. Again, God created with the Word. Jesus heard, was given orders from somewhere else, and he allowed those words to create him. Again, I believe on the power of the Word to affect us on the level of Spirit, and that it will change us, create us. I believe that to be a reality. I believe that that being, that God, exists, and that it is affecting us on the level of Spirit, and that it is creating man. It shouldn't, but I believe it does. So Jesus allowed the Word coming from that being that is not a part of this world to change him. And he worked on that. He worked on his spirit, on the way he thought, on the way how he felt about that. Again, good and bad. Suppressing the human knowledge of good and bad to be transformed into a different thinking, away from our truth. And again, it created a reality, it created a different being. Again, they're also spiritual, yeah? We are getting out of the flesh, we're getting out of solid reality. We're becoming spiritual. We're going out of solid reality. No. Jesus was at no point not in solid reality. He was solid the whole way through. I mean, there was a spooky moment when he came out of the tomb and he said, "Don't touch me, because I am not with my Father just yet," or something like that. So he was still in flux, in a transformative state, which is spooky. But after a while, he most definitely was a solid reality again. Changed, but solid. So whoever says, you follow Jesus, we're going to be fluttering beings of light. No. That is not what that teaching is teaching. It's teaching the power of the Spirit to create material reality. That is what that is teaching. It does not teach you to get out of material reality, but to create it. Yeah? And then not creating according to your own knowing, but let somebody else tell you what to create. And in the first instant, it will create you. The kingdom within first. You first. And out of that, you create a different reality. Again, most likely by the power of the Spirit, but you will. That is what that teaching says. So we're going after divine guidance. Good and bad after divine guidance. What we should do after divine guidance. Being told by a being that is not human. And then what we start doing is not human. It's inhumane. It shows you the Spirit. Again, by their fruit you will know the Spirit. By what they're doing. But again, you need to be on the foundation of your own judgment, whether that is good or bad, and people throw that out of the window. It's the will of God, and therefore it is good. It's not. It's not good. It is not good. And that is the problem. Yeah? Indoctrinate them. Tell them God is not real. No, that is not what we should do. We should tell them God is real. Absolutely is real. To me, He's real. I believe they exist. I believe on that God. Yeah? That is not the problem. The problem is our judgment of good and bad. The problem is we are being influenced. And the problem is we're being told we must be influenced and we must accept that as our truth. That is the problem. It's not that God is not real. If you think that, well, then there is no problem. But I believe that that they are real. And we have a problem. We most definitely have a problem. And the problem is created on the level of spirit. And that is what we must show people. There is where the understanding has to be. On the level of spirit. What it is we are doing on the level of spirit. And the other thing is, there is only one God. Yeah, again, it is a perception. You're building a perceptual bubble. Yeah, it is not the fullness of reality. Absolutely not. You are restricting your knowing. Yeah, and again, you're being imprisoned. You really are being imprisoned if there are no other possibilities. Again, God wants to be all. There is a being there that wants to be all, the only creator of reality. He's making you his machine to do that. And again, for Christians, and you really need to see that as a reality that you have to deal with. You need to see where the problem actually is and the reality that it creates that you have to deal with in order to correct this. What is happening to a Christian? Yeah? And it's not that God is all, or that is the only being that exists. That is not the truth. You have to make it all. You have to make it within yourself all there is. And then it will become all for you. But then you are in an illusionary bubble. Yeah? Where that is the only input. And again, what I said yesterday in Psalm 82, they are walking in darkness. They are not walking in the knowledge of the fullness of reality, but they are caught in this beam, this knowledge, this one that is creating their world. And to them, that is the only reality. And they will not understand. They will not. They fight any other knowledge that is clearly around them. It exists, but they're denying the existence of it, or if it comes to awareness, call it devil and demon. It's all evil. What is not within the will of the one being that you're in is evil. That is a problem, and that is the problem that we have to deal with. And it is quite simply that they need to understand that what is sucking them in, beaming them up into another reality, is evil. It's pure evil. It's wrong. You're calling good evil and evil good. That is what you need to understand. And again, the last part, I would not be in such a flap if I didn't think this was real. This is truth. We are spiritual beings. We are creating realities. Yeah? And that it is possible. And then in the outcome, we, or the Christians, will have brought New Jerusalem into this reality as a solid reality experience. You have created. You are creator beings. You have created a reality, a solid reality, if that thing ever comes. You will have created that. You will have brought it into this reality. Again, I believe that to be truth, that it can be done. And you have to deal with it then as a solid reality. There's going to be nothing also spiritual about it. Spirit is what created that, but you will have to deal with the outcome, which will be a solid experience. And again, look at the book. It's not good. You're not going to enjoy that in any way, shape or form, unless you are a complete masochist that is really into being slaughtered and having plagues poured onto you, then in which case you're good. Most of us will not enjoy that, because we are standing in the truth of a human being, in the judgment of a human being, and in the judgment of a human being that is not good. So, again, knowing Jesus after the flesh means according to the judgment of a human being. You follow Jesus, the way of the cross, you need to do away with the judgment of a human being. sound judgment of a human. I would call it sound judgment of a human being. You're doing away with everything that you know, and then a new reality is created inside of you first, and then it will become real outside of you. And then you know Jesus after divine guidance, and divine guidance means a being in above you. According to his guidance, you will know reality, and you will know them, because they exist. They're real. They're outside of our five senses now, but they can become a solid reality because we are doing this in the spirit. We're working this on the level of spirit, not knowing what it is we're doing, no longer of sound judgment, and we will create, because we are creator beings. Again, that I believe to be a reality. And so it's only because I believe that I am in such a flat, because if none of this is true, and sheep, walk on, nothing to see here. There's no truth whatsoever. There's no understanding in this. It's all made up. You're being led away from the truth. And channels that are being promoted in this internet world. Yeah, who is controlling the algorithms? What does that serve? It's serving to lead you away from the truth. It's showing you some things that are wrong or that you feel are bad, which you should. And then it leads you to run like a sheep, rejecting it all. And as I said, you're running straight past the truth. You're no longer seeing that. There was something to see there, and you should see it. So stop running. Anyway, yeah, folks, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.